Good evening, everybody. Our guest of honor, Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Ministers, Minister of State of Higher Education, Minister of State of Public Service, Government Official, Representative of Chief of Defense Forces, Representative of Inspector General of Police Forces, Your Excellencies, colleagues, the Ambassador and the High Commissioners, Member of Diplomatic Corps and Head of Consular Mission, our dear guests, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Jabaliku.
Kali.
First of all, it's a great honor and a privilege to welcome you at the Algerian House in Uganda to commemorate the 71st anniversary of the launching of the glorious Algerian Revolution of 1st November 1954. We are gathered today to commemorate a sacred day, a decisive moment that changed the course of the history of the Algerian nation. I would like everyone to first bow with respect and gratitude before the memory of 1.5 million of our courageous martyrs who paid with their lives so that Algeria could be free and sovereign. On that fateful night in 1954, a group of brave Algerian patriots, guided by a vision of justice and independence, ignited a revolution that will transform not only Algeria, but the destiny of Africa as a whole. For nearly 8 long years, our people waged one of the most remarkable liberation war in the modern history, and armed and the political struggle culminated with the restoration of the Algerian sovereignty on 5th July 1962. During this period, we shall not forget that Algerians endured the most cruel method of torture, including deportation, brave executions, use of guillotine, napalm bombs, 11 million anti-personnel mines. Before ending this, between brackets, civilization work, with 2 nuclear tests in the Algerian Sahara with indigenous and the local population has served as guinea pigs. Today, we proudly celebrate the outbreak of bravery by people who defied 132 years of abject colonialization and who unleashed on 1st November 1954 a revolution that will find a great echo beyond borders, leading to the decolonization of most Africa and Asia. The support of African people and nations was a key pillar for the success of Algeria's struggle for independence, illustrating a deep Pan-African solidarity and shared awareness of the decolonization. It was in this spirit that Algeria opened its door to African freedom fighters like Nelson Mandela and others, providing training, shelter and political support to those still under colonial rules. This glorious revolution benefited from significant diplomatic support from the world free nation who saw the Algerian struggle as a symbol of their own struggle. We shall remember here that at this time, and as Senator Mr. John Kennedy supported the Algerian independence in an historical speech in 1957, arguing that Algerian independence was inevitable. Therefore, Algeria remain and will remain a tireless supporter for all oppressed people. Wherever they are, Algeria has always expressed its solidarity with all people struggling for their national independence and dignity, named the Mecca of Revolutionary. The same spirit of independence, solidarity, and fraternity continue to shape Algeria's foreign policy today. Our guiding principle remained rooted in justice, mutual respect, and the promotion of peace and cooperation among nations, particularly among African brothers and sisters. Talking about colonialism, we must be aware that the new colonialism is back in Africa, witnessed by the division between countries and the manipulation of value of the United Nations Charter. At the moment, when certain colonial powers still establish for themselves the right to say this territory belongs to X or Y instead of the people, in order to exploit their resources. We must eradicate colonialism and the new colonialism. Africans should ensure that African nations do not dominate one another. The unification of Africa and the decolonization of Western Sahara, the last colony in Africa, are crucial for peace and security in our region and for the economic integration in line with the principle of African solution to African problems. Or actually, we remark that certain past colonial powers try again to render the UN Security Council sincere to ensure the collective security of all people, to become a distributor or a broker of people's territories instead of the right to self-determination of these people. Algeria, faithful to the principle of people's right to the self-determination, has consistently expressed itself in favor of right to self-determination of Sahrawi people, and has supported and continue to support our effort to realize the legitimate demands of these oppressed people under colonial domination. Ladies and gentlemen, 71 years later, Algeria made giant leaps in its economic and social development. Despite the structural obstacle left by the colonization, Algeria has managed to become an emergent economy in Africa. The country also figures as the third GDP in the continent, with an external public debt approximately nil. Algeria continued to preserve the main social achievements such as free healthcare, free education, and free delivery of public services. Honorable Vice President, distinguished guests, Algeria and Uganda share a story of struggle and resilience. Both our nations fought to reclaim their dignity and their sovereignty, and both have since stood firm in their commitment to Pan-Africanism and South-South cooperation and advancing the cause of Africa on the global stage. It is no secret that the relations between Algeria and Uganda are excellent. Firstly, through the deep friendship and respect between our presidents, His Excellency Abdelmajid Tebboune and His Excellency Yuri Kaguta Museveni. Secondly, through the commitment of both countries to the great ideal of freedom, non-alignment, and Pan-Africanism. And finally, through the real brotherhood and solidarity between our two nations. Algeria and Uganda share common position on international issues, such as the struggle for self-determination of people of Western Sahara and Palestinian people. The latter, as everyone knows, is living actually in a catastrophic situation and extremely difficult living conditions, particularly in Gaza. My country, since its accession to the seat of non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, has spared no effort and has made the defense of the Palestinian causes its absolute diplomatic priority. This year marks a significant economic cooperation between Algeria and Uganda, aimed at strengthening economic ties and exploring opportunities for collaboration in various sectors beyond simple trade in goods. I also highlight the increase in Ugandan export to Algeria following the signing of several bilateral agreements during the President Museveni visits to Algeria in March 2023, including tons of powder milk and coffee. In last September, Algeria hosted the most successful fourth edition of the Intra-African Trade Fair to enhance integration and trade between African countries under the African Continental Free Trade Area. This large-scale event, considered a major step for the economic integration of the African continent. The trade fair was crowned by the signing of contracts and agreements worth including several Ugandan companies. On the sideline of this continental event, Algeria and Uganda signed an agreement to renovate and upgrade the Katakwi General Hospital for the benefit of the population of this area. This initiative reflects Algeria's continued commitment to improving access to quality health care in Uganda and supporting the well-being of African brothers and sisters.
And through their presence, we guarantee the strengthening of this human bridge, which is very important for the sustainability of fraternity and friendship between the two nations. I am particularly proud to highlight our partnership in education and human resources development, which dates back to the mid-1980s. These students participate and contribute to the development of Uganda, which pleases us all. We welcome the opportunity to see the increase from year to year in the quota of scholarship offered and consequently the number of Ugandan students in Algeria. We consider that investment in the training of men and women is a source of light, progress and development. Over the decades, many Ugandan students who studied in Algeria have returned home and are now serving their country with distinction. They can be found in Uganda hospitals, at the Uganda Revenue Authority, within engineering institutions and in various other public and private bodies. Their contribution to the national development is a source of pride for both our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda continues to be a peaceful and stable country and should remain so. A country whose advice is regularly required on the Great Lakes region, the African continent, and the major issues of interest of the international community. His Excellency President Museveni is certainly no stranger to this important success for this country and for Africa. His chairmanship for the non-aligned movement and soon the African peer review mechanism, Heads of State and Government Forum has significantly enhanced the country's diplomatic profile on the international stage. The most recent example of this is the successful conclusion of the 19th Non-Aligned Movement Midterm Review Ministerial Conference held at Speaker Resort Monunio last October 2025. I also take this opportunity to wish the Ugandan people a smooth running of the upcoming 2026 general election and hope for the success for this important election for Uganda and the Ugandan people, who deserve very happiness and prosperity. Honorable Vice President, distinguished guests, on behalf of the government and people of Algeria, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the government and people of Uganda for their friendship, cooperation, and warm partnership over the years. Together we shall continue to advance the noble ideal of our revolution and the aspiration of our great continent. Before I conclude, I am convinced that we, both Algerians and Ugandans, have every objective reason to hope for a bright future for our bilateral relation, and we welcome this, and no effort should be spread by both parties for the well-being and prosperity of our respective people. Viva Algeria, viva Uganda, long live friendship between Algeria and Uganda. Thank you. We value you. And now, let me take this opportunity and this honor to invite His Excellency, the Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, to make her remarks.
Your Excellency Amukran, the Ambassador of Algeria to Uganda, Honorable Ministers present, Honorable Members of Parliament, Excellencies the Ambassadors and High Commissioners present, senior government officials in your respective capacities, all invited guests, the Algerian community in Uganda, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, and on my own behalf, I wish to extend warm congratulations to you, and through you, to the government and the people of the Democratic Republic of Algeria on this important 71st anniversary of the Revolution and liberation of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. Let us congratulate His Excellency. Excellency, the Algerian liberation struggle reminds us of the foundation of Pan-African solidarity and liberation. The Algerian Revolution of 1954 offers multiple reflections to Uganda and most countries in Africa that pursue the same path to be liberated and gain independence during the years that followed in the early 1960s. Indeed, Algeria struggled to ensure complete decolonization of Africa continues to this very day, when Algeria has consistently called for a referendum for the people of Western Sahara to determine their own destiny. This history continues to bring and to bind our two countries in promoting peace and security, not only bilaterally, but continentally, and indeed globally. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the great people of Algeria. Your Excellency, Uganda and Algeria have had a deep-rooted history of cordial relationship since 1960s, defined by brotherhood, shared struggles, and mutual respect, coupled with diplomatic, economic, and educational, including development spheres. It is worth noting, since the state visit of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to Algiers in 2003, our bilateral cooperation has continued to yield significant results reflected in various sectors that have spurred economic growth and development here in Uganda and Algeria. For instance, Algeria agreed to buy Uganda's milk, and today Uganda's milk is being exported to Algeria, with the first consignment having been flagged off by His Excellency the President himself. Second, Uganda's coffee is also being exported to Algeria, and Algeria has also asked Uganda to supply Algeria with meat or beef. Uganda is ready to work with Algeria to ensure all the exports requirements, including halal, meat. I saw the sheikh here when I came. Yes, the sheikh is there. Algeria has also continues to support Uganda's education sector, and the Algerian government has offered over 500 scholarships in 2024 academic year in the areas of ICT, veterinary medicine, human medicine, mineral and energy, tourism, agriculture, engineering, among others. And the Minister of State in charge of higher education is physically here to acknowledge and appreciate. Thank you for coming and celebrating physically, my brother Muigo. The two countries have exchanged business visits to explore new products, including fruits, vegetables, and sweet bananas from Uganda to Algeria, and on the other hand, pharmaceuticals, machinery, agricultural chemicals, etc. from Algeria. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the two countries' chambers of commerce and industry have signed various MOUs as well as established in Uganda and Algeria Joint Business Council. Uganda and Algeria share a common understanding and perception on most issues affecting the continent as well as global issues, and they put emphasis on dialogue and peaceful coexistence. Both countries continue to work together to promote sustained peace and security and sustainable development on the continent, particularly through the African Union mechanisms. Your Excellency, Uganda believes that her national well-being and prosperity can only be attained in a secure and peaceful environment. We believe it is the same for our sister countries in Africa. That's why we have selflessly participated in regional and international efforts and initiatives aimed at maintaining peace and security regionally and continentally, and indeed globally. Uganda is therefore ready to continue working with other partners, including Algeria, to safeguard peace and security so that her own development goals can be achieved, as well as the development goals of all our sister countries. It is my pleasure, Your Excellency, now to invite you in proposing to join me in proposing a toast to the good health of the President of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, peace and development of Algerian people, and the further strengthening of our friendship and solidarity between Uganda and Algeria. Long live the Republic of Uganda. Long live the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. Long live the spirit of African unity. I thank you.